Well, welcome back, you lovely bunch. Thanks for tuning again. I hope you're all doing good. Apologies, it's quite early and I look very tired. I'm about to drive to the Muc Off head office. I'm super excited because I'm going to have a whole behind-the-scenes explore of everything that goes on there. And that means getting access to, like, secret research rooms. I'm going to try and film in these rooms. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to, but I'm going to try and blag my way in there. Because they do a lot of products, you know, and something I've often thought is, like, what is the difference between all their chain oils? Like, how is a wet lube different to a dry lube? And all that kind of stuff. I feel incredibly lucky to be sponsored by Muc Off. I'm very lucky to be going to the head office, and I thought I'd share a bit of that luck with you guys and take you along with me. So I'll check in with you in a couple of hours when we get to Muc Off. So here we are, this is the Muc Off boardroom, as you guys can see. I love this stuff, I love walking around, I love seeing like all this kind of cool memorabilia, a bunch of frames from brands they've worked with, riders they've worked with, like World Cup winning bicycles, as you can see. That is a mean looking bike. I have a little bit of an imposter syndrome when I'm standing here in this office surrounded by all this awesome memorabilia from all these like well-known riders, like motorbike riders, downhill racers, like musicians, everything. And then there's Dave. What am I doing here? Why am I here? I was just saying I've got imposter syndrome. I was just saying that you've got really cool stuff, really cool brands, right? Teams, things. Look, collaborations. So basically what's actually happening today is I got invited here to get shown loads of stuff, and I've just spent it walking around going, what's this? What's that? What's this? Look at that. Look at this. Look at that. Look. There's like so much cool stuff in here though. Look, every direction there's like something awesome, like frames, bikes, a cage. I want to try these out. So I want to get a tyre and I'm going to stab it with something, and I want to see how well the sealant works, and then we're going to try using a plug. R&D, top secret. Right, see? No photography.
Okay.
Nice to meet you. I just got distracted by the work vehicle.
Yeah. So, R&D, this is where all the magic happens.
Anywhere I can't point the camera? Secret stuff.
There's a few secret stuff. You'll see some black blankets around. Oh, this is a Giro Tribologist.
Nice to meet you. I'm going to be honest there. You introduced as a what? A
Tribologist.
Tribologist, and I just totally went with that. I knew what that was. I've got no clue. Explain your role.
So Tribology is basically the study of friction. So anything to do with friction. So we're doing like lubricants, assessing how they sort of form adhere onto the surface of the metal. Yep. And then ideally sort of replicate that into like actual like biking applications.
So the science behind all the ceramic lube, I guess the chain lube, why things don't stick.
So like for Tribology is oils, creams, greases. We have a few things in here. We'll do a lap round, and we'll just dive into a few bits. Bearing dyno, the oversized pulley cage. The lock system, 3D printed titanium, aerospace grade aluminium and coatings on this.
So they'll get tested though on here, and that will test the number of cycles.
Within here, the bearing goes in here. This is a transducer, so we're measuring the friction of how much it takes to get going, and we're also measuring the side load in there as well. Loads of different bearings in mind, and competitors as well. We test, it's no secret.
To see how it compares to...
Yeah, definitely. We need to see where we are in the market, and we want to be the best, so we need to produce the best stuff. So we go through an optimization program for all our teams, and actually the data shows a warm chain is a fast chain within reason.
Yeah, okay.
So they do get to a point where they'll just warm out.
Yeah, when you've got stretch and things. But if it's not stretched, and if you... So you'd what? I mean, I guess, how would you fully clean it? Put it in a...
Yeah, so we've got ultrasonic tanks.
Ultrasonic cleaner, yeah. How many miles then should a chain get? If you were to be doing this process, obviously it's a very expensive process for like... Yeah. Your average consumer, but how long would it
So we'll do 3 retreats, maybe a couple of classics on a chain.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not putting thousands and thousands of miles on them, are they?
So some of them could do like 1 cycle, others could do 3 cycles, just depends on...
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Shimano are very... whoever does their...
Am I allowed to ask, which chains are better? Have you tested other chains or just Shimano?
Yeah, Shimano, like...
Are they the best one?
Have you? And Shimano, whoever does Shimano's quality control is very good. You can give me 200 chains, and there's probably a maximum watt difference out
So there you go. Inside tip, Shimano. Like I just used the cheap Shimano trainers. I've never had an issue, and they last for ages.
Yeah.
Secret stuff. So you guys can't know.
The running in dyno.
Yeah, I know, you don't know.
This is our measurement dyno. We treat this one with a bit more respect than we do this one. We do look after that one, but that one's like the brute force.
Can do 1500 watts for what, 10 minutes?
10 minutes on that one.
Which, I mean, if you can do 1500 watts for 10 minutes, fair play to you. You can come and work here in a container.
For me to do a pro chain,
Yep.
this is our full pro tour treatment. It takes 4 hours.
There's me moaning about individually doing links, right, and saying this takes far too long, 4 hours. And that's for like 100 chains as well you have to do. So that's well done to this man. His work definitely cut out.
40 minutes of cleaning and lubing.
I can see all the gold bottles behind you as well.
These gold bottles replicate stage win on our lube.
So there's a couple.
Got a few about.
There we go. They're 3D printed cassette.
Yeah.
Cool.
So this was for when we did the hour record for Dan Bingham. He gave us 6 drivetrains and we had to work out which was the fastest one. We actually came up with one that was a little bit quicker, but then it went down to aero gains as well. But he was using a different style of cog so they could get optimum chain line. So this is what we can do here. Within 24 hours, we had a line drawing, basically a fag packet sketch, to some small prints to make sure it fitted. We then printed a cog
So
to
this is
see
like
if,
all the stages, so then when you go.
so then we printed a cog to see if it would fit. So we printed this up to make sure everything
So this is
worked.
your free hub, essentially.
Yeah, it's like an XD driver to a certain degree.
I mean, proper marginal gains, I guess, right?
Yeah,
we're
that's all,
talking like...
all we're ever getting now, out of chains and everything else, marginal gains. But if you can save in everything on part of your bike, it's a big gain.
Yeah, if you save like 1 watt saving on your chain, then on your cassette, on the
Tyres,
thing...
even down to like how much sealant you're using.
Yeah, I mean, I just went in there and they looked at my sealant. I put quite a lot in, to be honest.
You get telling up.
I'd rather not get a puncture. So there's a little bearing right in there. And how long will this do it for?
Does it for an hour?
All lubes are not equal. But Ludicrous is the lube that you reckon is like the best.
Very good.
I mean, obviously they're all good.
Yeah, they're all good, but if you want pure speed,
there we go,
and a clean chain, Ludicrous.
Yeah.
But you need to apply to a clean chain.
And then like when you've done your ride, a muddy ride, is it better to like just wipe it down or just fully take it off, clean it?
That's like it's quite a hard one to do, isn't it? It depends how dirty it is. If it's like just a gritty road ride or a real tame sort of gravel ride, you know, bridleways, you'd probably get away with just wiping it over and reapply it.
Right, so as you can see, it was a very successful trip to the Muc Off offices. It was actually really nice to get a little bit behind the scenes of how they develop product, the R&D process, all that stuff. I was skeptical how much difference there is between each lube, and are all the lubes different? How are they different? And then to see actually like the in-depth R&D they do here and all the processes for getting the chain ready and everything, basically. I'm a bit of a nerd. I love all the science behind the product and I did really enjoy learning all about that. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to get my gravel bike chain optimized by these guys. So it's a 4-hour process. They'll optimize it, it'll make my gear shifting smooth, perfect, all that stuff. If you've got any questions, let me know down below. I'll try and answer them. If you have any questions for the R&D team, next time I come I'll try and answer those. But this was a very informative actual visit to Muc Off. Really enjoyed it, and I enjoy learning new things, and I've learned a whole load about the whole R&D process and how it is more than just chain lube and bike cleaner. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys very soon. Bye.